What up, peeps? This is Marci Locke and the gorgeous
Ana Naturalista.
Pineal Priestess.
Pineal Priestess.
I was going to say princess too because you're such a princess as well. She's been called many things. We are in the Hummingbird Temple. Which
Thank you, Dr. Deb.
Yes. Which she's actually behind us watching and giving us all her loving energy. Awesome. So there's obviously so many different things that we could go off on, and I had said, those of you that have been watching me, I said, I'm going to be picking up my girl Anna, my twin flame sister, at the Hummingbird Temple, and I'm sure we'll dive into and take some time to dive into some more of these things already. We got so much love coming in. Like, it's like tea time with Anna. Tea time with Anna and Marci. There's always there's not always cleavage. I was going to say today. I mean,
no.
Look, okay, really, technically for cleavage, there's got to be like this plus this.
Right.
Not with you. But there's shirt possibilities.
There is.
Look
at the love coming out now.
And this is what happens in the temple. I mean,
it's a sacred space.
Well, I mean, I've said several times when we were in Dom and her, and we were in the temple and in the Hall of Waters, and with all that secret coating on the wall, I was like, my pussy was like, ding, drip, 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 kundalini energy. That's what happens.
There's a lot going on.
Yes. Love it. Okay, so couple things first off is that Anna and I officially have dates for Dom and her and all of Italy, all of Europe. We're doing 2 experiences. First one is going to be, because we want to be able to serve, I mean, our intentions is to activate as many people as possible. The more people that we can give this upgraded DNA activation, your super genes, your gene keys, your crystalline conscious energy, the more we bring unity conscious togetherness, right?
And your superpowers activated so that you can really align yourself
make it
to
simple.
That divine energy.
Superpowers. You're already super. You have superpowers. You just have, they're dormant within you.
And then turn those motherfuckers on.
Yeah, and this is what we want to talk about today, and even that we manifest like goddess motherfuckers through play and what our lives look like. We're about to, after this fun play, we're gonna go out to eat, take the boys out. They're actually back laying on biomats, getting both doing
crystal energized.
Yeah, getting some healing and visualizing their bodies being totally healed, and then we're gonna play and we're gonna go out to dinner, and then we get to go to my new house. For the first time, all moved in, because my team's been moving us in while we've been in Utah, and we're gonna bless it. We're gonna
set up a crystalline grid around the house.
We're gonna grid activate it, and then we're gonna, in the next month or so, we're gonna do a cool little house ceremony for all my amazing peeps and our friends.
Activate the home temple.
Yeah, so we got home temple too. So, yes, I mean, there's Hummingbird Temple, and there's going to be the home temple. And Anna's going to be living with me for a while till we travel all fucking summer.
Right.
Mount Shasta, Sedona. We're doing all sorts of crazy super gene cool stuff in Boston.
Santa Cruz, where the ambassadors of Dom and her will be teaching and guiding us through a summer solstice
and we're
ceremony.
doing that. We're actually hosting a 2-day event at the beginning of June, which we'll start posting some stuff about.
Very soon.
For peeps that aren't quite ready to get to Dom and her, maybe it's a little bit too much of a stretch for you. That might be a possibility for some of you to do a 2-day thing, and I think we're going to create it to be an online deal as well. So you can do it from anywhere around the world. So that stuff's coming. What else? And then in July, I'm taking this chick with me to Colombia because
for the first time,
she's my sister. So I'm like, babes, the stuff I do in Colombia and the healing that's there, you get to come do that. And so she gets to come down with me. I'm going to take one group of leaders with me to Colombia in July. One of my team members is going in June, so there's some possibility there. So again, we got so many things possible for people to be able to go get healing with my peeps, with my team, where it's it's set in stone. You get the most awesomeness.
Spiritual mastery and integration.
Yeah,
the tools
and this
that come
chick,
from the angels.
what she does, obviously, and we'll kind of talk about with our remembrance experience, the one that's the people that get a lot of stuff with us. Yeah. With her even just coming to Colombia, there's so much more access to involve all sorts of looking at soul contracts, Akashic records, angel activation. I mean,
portal meditations, all kinds of real beautiful.
So that's happening in July. So if you guys want to be in that group of peeps with us in July, going to Colombia, you get to definitely apply. Hey, babes, what's up? You done living on the biomat and activating? You gonna hang out?
Gavin asked me if I could grab his shirt.
Cool. And then in August, it's, I won't even try to remember the exact dates right now because this is the stuff my team always does. I swear people are signed up and they're like, Marci, when are the dates? I'm like, check with my team. Anyways, I do know it's the first couple days starting
on
August
5th. Yeah. Yep. The first retreat is basically geared around healers and practitioners and those who really want to integrate on the education and the healing energy of the experience.
Well, this is the deal. If you're someone who's doing some sort of level of this, I mean, I would definitely say if you're anyone who wants your own healing, if you're on your own internal journey, if you've been on the whole consciousness journey and you want to you want to manifest like a motherfucker with ease. This is the stuff that for me on my own journey has massively activated my capabilities. Yep. It's why people pay me $1 million to come work with me, is because not only do I guide them to this kind of stuff and all the internal game. So I'd say if you're anyone who's like, if you're not someone who maybe does healing work or you're a coach, etc., and you want it for yourself, cool. You could do this baseline one for you, of course, because we want to activate as many people as possible. And
absolutely.
if
and
you're
offer
someone
to your people as well. So
yeah,
that's what I want to integrate into the knowledge that we offer, because Dom and Her has a system that's been set up that they've been using for people to visit the temples. But because of the relationships that I have and that we now have with ambassadors and people that have access to the healing equipment, we are now the first group and the first ones to even have
access. Well, this is what we want to get clear
and
on.
Approval to do
There's people, so what we found is we've worked with, because Anna is like the oracle of oracles. She's got high level approval. And by the way, our little thing, our ceremony to get mine fell off the other day. I get to get
reinitiated.
Yeah, reinitiated. I'm initiated into the Dom and Her society. So this is the point. There's people who you can go over there and just have access to getting to go through a tour, have very minimal experience. There's some people that we found out from working with these ambassadors why they've been very safeguarded with the space. There's some people who live outside of Dom and Her and promote they do stuff with Dom and Her, but it's not Dom and Her, it's not their teachings, it's not access to all the things. It's like a very baseline experience. So again, this is why
they visit and then they go do their own thing. But
and
we're doing it fully integrated.
Yes. And this
with
is
the
why
ambassadors, with the teachers.
Yeah. Same thing even with why with Colombia and with the stuff that I do, where it's so sacred that we take people to where I take them and why I take them there, where most people look it up and just be able to go somewhere in the US, go anywhere and be able to go through a experience with ayahuasca, etc., and it's not safeguarded, etc. So this is why it's the system that we have is what I've gone through. It's very safe. It's what I'll take my $1 million clients through. So with what was it? Okay, so the first one, what she's saying, obviously, if you're a healer, if you're someone who's doing spiritual work, etc., yes, we want to be able to activate as many of those people as possible, because then you actually take that and can be able to do so much more with your people and be able to have a system where you can actually bring your people to go through this as well. Because again, the more people we create this frequency of alignment through, the more we're in unity consciousness is what will end poverty consciousness. It's what ends sickness. It's when we create pure prosperity consciousness. It's when we transmute the frequency and mutate the cells of human beings that their frequency vibrates, and we can soul split our consciousness to be able to pull that collective consciousness up to this level. So this is why
abundance for all.
Yeah.
This is why our whole planet is shifting, is to bring that balance back into the unity consciousness. So we get to be the ones who are leading the way. Those of you who come on the retreat get to be the ones who then bring others and lead them on this path of ascension and crystalline consciousness and the higher levels of evolution.
Yeah. So the system we're really setting up, first off with what she has access to, is that not only we get to take people through this, but then we have a system set up that anybody can. So you as an individual, you can apply and go, and it'll be that then we have groups going down at certain times, so you get access to all the stuff that other people don't have access to. So you can try. You could go to Dom and Her yourself and look it up, but you'll get access to basically a tour and maybe a few things.
Community experience, maybe a temple tour.
Not the actual, all the selfic healing, getting inside the temple, doing the different stuff we do, and obviously the stuff that we bring along with it, with the DNA activation, all sorts of stuff. So if you're someone who just wants, hey, I want the baseline experience, we have that coming up, where it's we're actually going to start in Turin. Where is Turin?
Turin is in it's in Italy. It's in the northern countryside of Italy, and it's about an hour and a half north of Milan, and about 5 hours or so north of Venice.
Milan has the best shopping ever. That's where I got my whole new wardrobe. So we're going to start in Turin because we're actually going to do some activation stuff with the Book of the Dead and some intense stuff there.
Which is at the Egyptian Museum, which there are only two versions of this. One is in Egypt and the other is in the Egyptian Museum in Turin. So we'll have, again, special access to that.
And this is the thing. It's not just, okay, cool. So, where do you guys go? Oh, okay, I'll go there. I'm telling you, even what the experiences I just recently had that we want to share on, it's being able to open the portals, it's being able to have conversations, it's being able to do massive DNA activation, upgrading your crystalline consciousness. I mean, in the first even experience that we did in Europe before, where it's we're talking to Archangel Michael, we're doing all these things where he's we're literally finding and seeing where the dormant DNA is and how to activate it and what we get to do to activate it and how to connect those dots. Also, we're bing, boom, we come out total other individuals. So we're starting there for a reason, to be able to involve the Book of the Dead and activate some things, and then be on the Mary Magdalene Trail, which I'm not going to get into specifics of all the places that we get to go, but then we'll start there, for this is the base one. So even the base one,
we're sharing little bits as we go, but
just this base one. This base one is motherfucking pure awesomeness. So then we go back through to Dom and Her. We'll spend a week in Dom and Her, 5 days down in Dom and Her. I think this one is 7 days total. Okay, and we can have up to only so many people that get to be involved in this, and this is why it's very much, everything is an application process, so we know what healing you're looking for, so we know what stuff you've done, we know if you're a right fit for this. We believe in honoring and alignment and authenticity, and the core values align, that everything is impeccable. We live in impeccable integrity to the micro degree. That means it's 100% fuck yes for you, fuck yes for us, looks like it's a perfect fit. And if it's not, if you're not quite there, cool, then there's places we can have you start, so you will be ready to get there, right? And it might be going in the next 6 months, it might be going next year, it might be starting with something else that we see as a perfect fit for you first, because I mean, there's
like the solstice retreat. That's a great start
coming up
for those
that we'll be talking about. Yeah, and because guys, this is the thing, and this is a nugget I want you to hear. Money is fucking easy. Like, life is fucking effortless. This is what we're going to talk a little bit about. It's like, so whenever you're like, if it came out as, this is why for me, people always apply for all my programs. And I'm always like, money's not, I don't have to accept anyone or do anything because of money. There is no limitation outside of me. It's purely if I fucking love you and it's fun to be around you. See the people that come into my world, right? And you're living in alignment, those core values, all those things. And it's a yes, it's like those are my personal clients. And actually, this last week I contracted 1.25 million.
Awesome.
In this last week,
amazing.
Right? And I attracted another $1 million client with ease and grace, and this is what we're going to talk about. I attracted another $1 million client, locked in another personal client that I accepted into my family personal clients for a $250,000 level. And that is, it's just like, I love those people. It's like fucking play. We just have a blast, and this is where we're going to talk about. We manifest through play, looking at where our life is at and how this is. And yet, through this play and these things that we've done that activate all this within us, this is why we live in a place of the frequency where we literally attract, the magic, the synchronicity, the multiverse setting up everything. If you saw my live video that I did about my mom, how everything was just lined up perfectly. I didn't have to do anything. The angels and everything brought it all together for me, because I'm operating this frequency of like everything's easy. And my mom's like, I'm like, Mom, this is how life is meant to be. It's supposed to like line up this way. It's meant to, this is your new norm. Awesomeness is your new norm. So,
but it's only when you align yourself to those higher frequencies of love and joy and play that you can actually experience what it is to be in alignment with synchronicities, with miracles, with magic, with alchemy, all of those that are at the higher levels.
How's your healing?
So it's all about where you start, because it begins and it ends with you, as I always say. So where you are in your heart, in your integrity, and operating from those higher levels and vibrations of love and of joy and of abundance, that's where everything manifests from. Enjoy.
Say hi. Gavin.
Gavin the Great.
Hi. We're doing some healing on Gavin today, because being in Utah and doing the stuff he did, his body's recovering,
Changing color.
Yeah, changing climates, all sorts of stuff. So we're going to grab that stuff and go lay down on the biomat a little bit longer and do your visualizations about cellular restructure. And then as soon as Anna and I are done, we're going to go out to eat, okay?
Cool. Some awesome places in Laguna to eat, so we get to do that next.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so what we were finishing at is, so the baseline one that we're, is more of the lower level one, meaning it's like a great place for anybody to start, is 7 whole days, starting in Turin, Italy. We go through a couple cool places, go back through Dom and Her, do all this. So everybody gets access to doing the healing on their body they require. That's why also the application process is important, because we want to see what healing issues you have, what you're looking for. So we can literally set up everybody going through all this stuff like healing technology, just like I did.
And it's personalized.
Yeah.
Which is why we need to know as part of the application process.
Yeah, so like Anna had, she wouldn't have even been walking if she hadn't done, you can have some of my water, babes. It's just water. Yeah. Anna had
cranial fracture, double concussion, herniated disc in my neck, middle of back, and blasted shoulder.
All of that, and she went through the healing and doing her, and literally was like,
Especially how I was able to create the program for then Marci and Daniel and others and my clients who are there now going through it. So
and see, it's again through our mess becomes our message. Through our life's journey and the things that we get to learn becomes the way that we have access.
We create brilliance.
Yes, exactly. So that's so same thing. The stuff that I got to go through for all the healing in my body. Every single person gets access to that, and then they also get. We want to talk about the class that's available with
Espéride. So Espéride is not only one of the very important goddess ambassadors of Damanhur, but also Damanhur University. She wrote many of the books that we'll be studying, especially related to physics and esoteric physics, talking about our subtle energy bodies, about all the subtle energies on the planet, and taking us on a real beautiful Damanhur blue light portal meditation in the temples.
In the temple,
go to the
which you
sacred
can't
forest.
get access to.
Yeah.
The stuff that we did in the sacred forest, the activation stuff. So this is the thing. Anna and I are going to be with this group. That means we're integrating and implementing a lot of this other activation stuff on top of this.
So you get us as well as these high-level teachers. So it's not only the places that we're taking you to, but the people that we have access to, and the direct divine knowledge and integration that you'll get to be experiencing, not only with us, but also with these amazing people that
so
we're
that's a
connected to.
whole week, and then we end back in Turin, so everyone can fly back out of it. Now, okay, so that's our baseline experience, because again, everything, like, my name is so important to me, and what I do is so important to me, that, like, everything is high level awesomeness. That's where we start. That's our baseline. Our right,
which is like way above what anybody else has even created, or
even
offered.
has access to.
Yeah.
So then, the next one that we have that is, I think, like that we're gonna play for like 5 days or something, because of course everything is play. And then we have anyone that's in our remembrance experience, which is the higher level experience, is basically, is it 12 days? It's somewhere around.
I think we have it at 11 days.
I think, and then if you want to actually spend
And
another
includes,
3 days with us, then it's another level to just get 3 more days with us in Venice, where we do massive sacred, or we do secret coding, meaning how to integrate the secret codes and all these other things. So
because Venice is a Lemurian city, very few people actually know that below the city of Venice that's there now is another 12-point star with a 13th point in the center that represents this Lemurian grid that was activated there thousands of years ago. So the codes that are there that I'm able to see and teach you and show you and introduce you to the historians that I met, again, while I was there and discovering other healings, and it's just incredible.
So if you're with us through all of that, which we can only have a couple people with us on that,
That'll be limited
from
for
the
sure.
experience, then you're with us almost 14 days. It's somewhere around like 13, 14 days, right? So the total experience you could have would be up to 14 days. So what's going to happen is, again, we're going to start in Turin and be able to go through some of the same things that we want to do with the base experience for massive activation, the Mary Magdalene Trail, etc. Make it to Damanhur, do all the healing available in Damanhur. Again, access to the same learnings in Damanhur. What's going to happen as well, though, there being that we have a much smaller group. We can just stay in the temple. We got lots of things set up.
Well,
we got staying in different castles. We got staying
temples,
inside the temple.
mansions.
All this stuff. And so what's going to happen is, because, I mean, with
The whole
access...
world is,
so
engines.
this is already some of... Woo! Let's celebrate that. This is already... I know we've already probably got... I haven't even gotten to update you. I think maybe at least 4 to 5 of these spots have already been taken.
And a couple of my private clients
we might only have a couple of spots left for this,
Seriously.
because this is going to be for, obviously... my personal clients, her personal clients, and the people that we want at this level that get to go through this with us. And I think Cammie did tell me she already gave one other person a spot that she approved for us. So, see, again,
fantastic,
easy, effortless. So, because we can only take 10 people on this one with us, because we're going to also be doing a lot of personal integration stuff. So, like the type of sessions that Anna can do with her personal clients, which is, I'm like, oh, my boob was very close to falling out right there. Because it's so little. It's like, hot. Pop! Just...
Sneaky little bit.
I'm so excited you're gonna live with me for like 6 weeks before we go play all summer. This is so fun. We're gonna go decorate the new house. Yes. I mean, can you imagine we're like late at night? We're like, let's pop up the video camera. Yeah, so much fun.
Let's have popcorn with everybody.
Tea time and popcorn and all sorts of good stuff. Okay, I was getting off tracking. Okay.
Back to Venice and the retreat and the
Yeah. Okay,
so this
10...
time we only get to do like part of the Mary Magdalene Trail, because that goes way up into France, but we will get started in the Mont Blanc.
This is what we're setting up is different levels of experience, because again, we want to activate as many people as possible. So from the first, if you're someone who's like, I want to go there for my own healing, or I do healing and spiritual work, or I'm a coach and I want to be able to have more of my multidimensional capabilities.
Or I want like the biggest badass upgrade of evolution and ascension ever, because I'm going to step up right now.
I want to go to the experience. If you want to get access to On I, which and where we're doing the whole all much more. So even after Dom and Her, then we're hitting a bunch of different places. Like she said, we're hitting a lot of the Mary Magdalene Trail. We're going to end up in obviously Venice for those few people that we can take to that with us as well.
Yep.
So there's massive integration.
Plus everything from that we already mentioned about the first retreat, which is like the basic one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And so
and I'm wearing my DNA. This is actually from Dom and Her with my secret codes and my frequency, etc. So again, I wear this all the time because even as I'm doing different things, literally it's like click, gridlock, and like my DNA is activated and
receptor activate, gears twitch, everything starts turning on, the clicks start going.
All these people, you know, what's interesting, I was listening to it's a new one, Sacred Fire, something like that, about literally all the evidence to flow, to the flow energy, which again, what we're teaching, right? And it's like the whole world is scrambling to try to even understand how they can like receive results and be in flow, and they're always in fight. And how do you
Fight,
become
fear,
superhuman?
competition.
How do you do this, guys? It's so fucking easy. You just got to choose in on giving yourself permission and giving yourself being worthy enough to be able to activate these things within you that have always been there. So even since
loving
there's
yourself,
so many things we get to talk about. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of integration and imprinting along with this, and why we wanted to make this. It's not just like, cool, we'll send you this place. We won't do that, actually. That's why we want to make sure you're ready for it.
Hold your hand through it and make sure that you can actually receive this information, because
so that when you go home,
just like,
you're imprinted with it and you actually know how to continue to integrate it into your life and your being. Otherwise, you will create the same shit and the same programming. And this is why I've been so safeguarded, and I'm the gatekeeper for the place that we go down in Colombia, is because it's not in alignment to my own integrity to send people to just be like, oh cool, you want to pay me for the experience, cool,
good luck with
go
that.
To the experience. You do the experience, you have massive healing, massive releasing, but then you go back into your illusion reality that you've created, and you have no idea in the how to align in the identity patterns, the beliefs, the behaviors, the thought processes, the feeling memory that you just shifted. You just released the memory from your cellular structure, and then you go back and because that is your illusion, and you only know how to be what you have created as your identity, you literally will recreate the same shit. And this is why I told my mom, and I held my mom to it. I was like, Mom, it doesn't matter if I drop 10 grand and I pay for all your healing. If you're not willing to do now, live in alignment to your own self-worth and imprint and do these things every single day. And I've got her on accountability. I've got my coaches, set up with her. I've got her in my program so that she's learning and she's having these, I'm practicing, integrating this stuff. I know. I mean, talk about like, we went from like, this started in Europe, right? Which we can get into. So we'll finish up. And the fact that, so if you guys are interested in any of these 2 experiences in Europe, ASAP, I would recommend going MLBadassBreakthroughAdventures.com. Again, ML for Marci Locke, BadassBreakthroughAdventures.com. Everyone has to apply. Everyone gets to apply to be accepted in anything. I don't care how high level badass you are. Even my, new $1 million client, they still had to go through other audios and apply to everything, because if you're not willing to do that, then that tells me a lot. And that's part of this alignment of you get to be ready and we get to, make sure it's a fuck yes fit. So, and if you guys are, and if you guys are also interested in going into Colombia in July with Anna and I, she gets to come with my group down there, which, I mean, holy fucking bonus to have this woman in your space for that. And then if you're just even interested in any of them, right, then just apply, because obviously we can see if another group's going down or when the next possibilities are, and we can get you started on some sort of thing. So let's talk about this in this whole living a life of fucking effortless ease, manifesting like goddesses and
clearing family lineage, and that's coming up for a lot of people right now. There's a lot of tension in the world, there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of misunderstandings and lack of communication, especially in the family dynamic or relationships. And in this time of unity and coming into harmony in the collective consciousness, it really starts with our own internal programs that come from our families, and that's what you just got to experience.
Well, let's think about this, okay? So it's easy. This is where we're talking about this whole other level of understanding that most people never even tap on. Let's say, for instance, like I always talk about how 99% of the world is operating in I'm a spectator or a participant. Even if you say 1% are creators, which 1% that might be the entrepreneurs. But out of it doesn't fucking matter if you're an entrepreneur, but you're settling, you're sacrificing, your life is struggle. I have to do all this for my business to work, and I sacrifice my body or my relationship, etc. Out of that, so even out of that 1%, I believe my personal experience is less than 1% of the 1% know how to live in fucking flow and ease, and I manifest with like grace, and life is awesome in every aspect, because why the fuck wouldn't it be? If I'm this powerful that every word I speak has power to produce anything, and everything I think and everything I feel, but see, most people don't know how to connect all those dots, which is my genius, right? And then her genius of like literally being able to see what you don't see, as far as like sacred contracts, activation,
everything and anything that's in your way of creating that complete and total harmony in your divine alignment and your sacred contract with your human existence.
Yeah. And I want to say, like, so my personal clients, because she's my sister here, you can see she loves me.
I love you.
So, because I know she has the availability to do, what she's, what it even clarified for me in my life, I worked it out with her that we got to pay a certain amount for my personal clients to get a session with her. And holy fuck, what it opened up for them in their world. Again, which I didn't have access to do. And this is what I'm saying, though. Nobody can just get access to that. Like, some of her clients are emperors and princesses and priestesses and
ambassadors,
right?
governors.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is like we work with high level individuals who want to change the world, because the more we assist you, the more it changes the frequency of a mass vibration, and all the way down to it's there for everybody at any level. So there's something for everybody at every level, because this is how we got here. I mean, we talked about, I was a $2 an hour waitress, with 2 kids to feed and $10 to my name, and within 6 years was charging people $1 million a person, because I went through that journey. So if you're anywhere in the journey, there's a space for you to start and being able to learn and integrate and grow and be able to do that. So now we're living in Life is Fucking Ease, right?
Yes, it is. And you cleared such beautiful, amazing.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. I'm like, right? See how this helps us out with each other. It's like, she's like, Marci, this is what we're talking about. When you were doing your little class the other day, and I got to watch Anna do her class the other day online, because I was in Utah and I couldn't be there in person, and you were like, what was I talking about? And I was like, Anna. And I was like transmuting it to you. I was like, I know exactly what you're talking about, girl. I was like right there with you. Right. So now this works. We can assist each other. She's like, Marci, this is what you're talking about before you went off a little tangent. Bring it right back, right? So the generational healing of families, right? So this is what I was talking about, and then when I got off onto the thing of 1%, and of course we brought it back, is that. Even in that 1%, say that you're someone who's living an awesome life. Of course, then my relationships are awesome. My relationship with my mom has been awesome for years, with my whole family. We've lived in a place of honoring each other, that I don't choose the Mormon religion anymore. I don't have the certain belief systems or parameters or things, and I can completely honor that they do, and they can completely honor me. And this is what I'm talking about, we're getting into micro alignment, right? Is that there was also a space of like, yeah, we can say it's awesome, but do I want to call my mom anytime, every day, any day, and spend a lot of time on the phone? Do I want to visit Utah all the time? Probably not. I'm like, not really, right? There was an underlying resistance there to like, I love and honor them, and I love my family, and in a way, I've had to kind of like give myself space to give myself permission to live the life I want to live, because the energy, the frequency, and the vibration was like draining and dragging. And this is why, if you watch my video live about this whole process, where I talked about even the last time that I've been out there before this last time in Thanksgiving, my oldest said, Mom, do you have an issue with Grandma, or do you have an issue being in the house? I was like, no, what are you talking about? We have the best time ever. He's like, your energy kind of shifts. And I was like, you know what? You totally called it out. You saw it. Is that after so many hours of like, oh, well, here's this gift about the temple, and here's this about the temple, and we're trying to like, oh, this talk, or the prophet said this. It was like, oh, that's awesome. I can appreciate that's what they're excited about. I can appreciate that they just want to share with me. I don't have to be attached to it. And it felt like this underlying manipulation of like, I'm trying to convince you of what's right and what I want for you, which is what my mom and I got clear on, where she's like, of course I see that that's what I was doing, because I just wanted you to be safe, and I just wanted to love you, and I was just wanted hope that you'd hear these messages and you'd want to come back to this. And when we got to be clear, I'm like, well, let's even evaluate this thought of like, am I not really saved if I don't believe this? And and all these things got cleared. So now we're at this level of like, holy fuck, or like, I'm like, now I want to. I literally have been messaging my mom. I'm like, Mom, are you practicing the 5 steps? She's like, yeah, I'm practicing the 5 steps. So and it's amazing what's happening between her and her husband and all these things, and she's like, her communication has gotten way greater, and so it's like, you know, and I like today I was like, you got to listen to chapter this of this book that I told her to listen to. I'm, you know, it's just opening up so much. Now I'm excited about talking to my mom, like that I'm like boxing her constantly, and just being, that's the level we're talking about, is being in such micro alignment with your life that of course only everything is total happiness, honor, love, the frequency that's there, the vibration that's there. It's only joy and love and awesomeness from every relationship. And you know, we've been talking about even the shifts that I've gone through recently, and I think every high level gets to go through. Anna's focusing on it too. We're both focusing on it, and we're both accountability fucking buddies on this with each other. Is that everything in our life is light. Everything in our life is liberation now. Yes. That doesn't mean, oh, because you speak consciously, you look like you're light to the world and you're offering these great things, but then when you go, well, I have to kind of put up with this doesn't quite line up, this pattern, you know, doesn't show up in pure integrity and alignment, and I have to deal with this because I get that. I'm like, well, that's out of alignment. You know, that's not honoring that it is like a fuck yes and integrity, and that we're on all sides honoring and in this vibration of love and light.
Absolute strength and integrity.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, we've aligned to that, you know, the only people in our space, in our world, are in that alignment and in that light. If there's an underlying, I need this from you, I have to take this from you, I have to do that so I can get this, it's like, that's not pure light. If it's not fucking awesomeness, you can look at it and go, and that's the thing for me. Just like the baseline thing I teach in my programs is, if it's not awesomeness, if you're not experiencing love, peace, joy, and awesomeness, you go, what am I experiencing? And you turn it in to go internal to see what you're in and what's happening, so then you can be conscious in this moment to proactively now create it, instead of just being subconsciously going through the motions and creating your same shit. We're at the level now of going, if everything doesn't look like light, feel like light, is light.
Joy,
if there's an inkling, if there's a micro of something that's like, the energy is telling me something different here, then I get to tune into that. Hey, Sky Guy, Gavin's calling you. So that's the level I got to experience with my mom, and now my whole family as part of this, and then everything that we're doing, obviously. So
amazing.
Talk about our life for a second, and like how fucking awesome it is, right?
What's not awesome about it?
I mean, so I was thinking about this.
People really are like, how do you live like that? Whatever that is, I want some. How do you do this?
Right?
How do I sign up for that?
The energy, it just calls, the frequency. So I was, even at my meet and greet, just me talking, so people were like, oh my God, I feel like this, I feel my body shifting just listening to you. And people around me, they're like, just something about your energy. I get that all the time because we're living in this embodiment of it. And so, you know, like I was telling Anna on my way here, I'm like a giddy girl that's so overjoyed, because I'm like, Anna, are you coming home with me today? Are you moving in today? Because literally we're getting the new next level house. I have a whole massive guest area. We have a whole meditation ceremony room we're creating.
So amazing.
We have a gaming room, virtual reality, like a high level, like couple $1,000 machine virtual reality room for my clients and for my boys to like totally experience like seeing anything that they want to see and train their mind. We have several rooms. I mean, we got pool, waterfall, meditation spaces outside,
so
fire pit. I mean, it's fucking awesome. We have a massive, it's like a 10 to 12 person long kitchen table dining room area. And see, she won like Top Chef just for family parties. Just for family parties and ceremonies. So super excited. So that's why I was like, does Anna get to come? So she gets to, I'm blessed that she was planning on being friends, decided to come over here for some things, and I'm like, babes, I keep being like, babes, you just come stay with me. Just come stay. And my boys, they were like today, I said, guys, guess what? Anna gets to come stay with us and live with us. And they were like, yay! They were so excited, which we like our personal space, because again, everything for me is like, fuck yes, alignment. And you know, it's like there's no self-sacrifice ever involved. And so like the fact that we're so giddy, beyond giddy, that this woman gets to be in our space.
Yay, double yay, triple yay.
Yay, yay, yay. So she's going to come be in my house for like, we have probably like 6 weeks maybe?
Before we start touring and doing the retreats.
I don't even know what day it is. What month are we in?
It's a Monday. It's April.
Wow, you did better than me. I was like, what day is it? I just am like, where am I flying? Where are we going? What's the plan today? This is our life. Okay, we were talking about what our life is. This is actually our life. Okay, so it's a Monday. We've clarified that. It's a Monday. I think it's April.
We're live. It's April.
Because I was... March, I was in Colombia.
No, I did my class on the 2nd. I was away. So it's like the 9th.
I was in April. Okay, it's April. Okay, so we have till June, when we are in the beginning of June, we'll be doing that class in Santa Cruz or San Diego?
San Diego.
San Diego, beginning of June.
The 3rd and the 4th. So we have a couple of options for some amazing venues and retreat centers that we can possibly use. We'll figure that out and let you know how that
Either
is.
my house or La Jolla is most likely where we're going
or
to be.
Valley Center.
Okay, we have that too. Yeah,
exactly.
okay, anyways.
Yeah.
It's going to be in our area that we get to have. We're having a 2-day event with some of the experts and like these world-class leaders from Dom and Her that are going to come out and actually teach self-link healing technology. All this stuff. So again, if you're not able to maybe go to Dom and Her right away, maybe you're setting up that you get to go next year. Look at all the messages coming in.
I love it.
Right? I'm so loved. So then this 2-day class to come be there or to be joining us live would be a great first step for you. So after that though.
Next is the Solstice Retreat.
What?
Then we go to Dom and Her, Santa Cruz, Mount Shasta.
Yeah. Well, we're doing, that's all the stuff. We're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Doing that. So I have personal clients coming in town, I think the beginning of June. Then we're out. She and I are everywhere. We're going all over to play.
Yeah.
So this is what I was telling her on my way down over here. I'm like, oh my gosh, like first off, let's think about the last year, like creating the next level house, like how just even like the $1 million clients that I have, that even this whole system with the Badass Breakthrough Adventures, how everything is just effortlessly manifested and created through play. And then I look at some people that I'm seeing how they're like, they struggle so hard to be like, what can I teach? What's my purpose? What do I give? How do I do this? And it's like a constant. They're in the mental program of trying to figure it out. And how do they?
They're thinking.
And I have to create money, and I have to do this to get money. And if I do that, then that might work. And I'll try this, and I'll try that. And it is. Can you just even feel the energy? I'm like, ugh. I feel exhausted even talking about it that way.
Consciousness.
Well, it's scarcity. It's have to. It's like, and it's not coming from you. It's not from within you. It's coming from without you. You're looking from without you to like, what do I do? How do I do it? What can I do? Well, how do I get more people? How could I? Well, I could do, if I could do this course, then I could do that, and then I could make money. Instead of notice, like through us just playing. See, and I even do the feminine flow energy, which is the receiving energy, which is the creation energy. When we're just like, oh, this sounds like fun. Notice we're like, oh, this sounds fun. This sounds like fun. Then we do it and we play because it feels good. And then, this is what, like, we're...
and we create more awesomeness for you.
Yeah, from my being led. Again, now, I was seeking. The next level thing was telling me, you get to do, like, I was literally aligning to 100% impeccable integrity in everything in that micro alignment, and I was being led to who else do I get to be in being this person that is sharing my light in such a big way that I magnify the world and I change the frequency of the planet, because my programs are about to be launched with Oprah, Deepak, Walmart, etc., going into all these things, and I said, if I'm going to be the fucking sun, I get to be dialed in as the sun, love myself down. So if you followed me for a bit, this is when I was like, ooh, and then I got led to what showed up was Europe. And so then it's like, that feels good. I don't even know what or how. I didn't have to. I knew that felt good. And then, oh my God, I met my twin. This was just a couple months ago. Can you believe this? This is my twin sister Flame. She met me and she was like,
there you are.
That sounded sexual. I liked it. Everything is so much pleasure and joy, right? Deb is loving this over there. She's like, whoa. Oh my God, I gotta tell you so many things. Just remembered. When I was in Colombia, literally everything that I was being taught
one time in the jungle
was pure pleasure. Oh my God. This is where I'm at. Everything for me is like liberation now, heaven now, bliss now, pleasure now. How much heaven more? Where else? Everything. And that's what we want to activate people to, because that is unity consciousness. You're one with all things. You're activated your crystalline consciousness. Everything is magic and joy and pleasure and play. So we were just talking about how our life experience through this last year has been play, and that's when we manifest more of receiving what we want. We create even more. We activate the world in other ways that has all come through play, and it's effortless. And see, even this whole summer, we literally have the entire summer booked with play all over the world. And here we're talking about my new house and how we're going to activate it as a sacred temple in its own space and doing this. And we're like, and so we were talking about how, like, I've been intending to decorate it and it to be, I'm like, we get to decorate it, it gets to be like a Bali, Thailand, Hinduish, temple-ish, very sacred space feel, because the energy in my home, like, people come to my home that I've had and are like, holy fuck, the energy here makes me want to, like, it just brings so much out. And I'm like, well, babes,
come here so you can see the temple.
We're going to be playing all over the world all summer, so we get to buy all these cool things to have in our sacred awesomeness, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. So that's our world. And I think that sums up in a nutshell literally how we manifest like a motherfucking goddess, badass, etc. living in internal alignment is how we effortlessly receive the magic, are in sync with the magic, and in synchronicity with the magic, right?
That's basically the top secret of all secrets in the universe.
Yeah.
Living in joy and love so that all the magic is aligned to your frequency and you can match it. That's what rising up is all about. Is that the frequency of love and magic and synchronicity is here, and we rise up to it, and woo, everything happens in massive abundance and love.
Now, most likely you're watching, and I get this, guys. You can be in a place where you're like watching us be like, "Ee, giddy, giddy, giddy."
They're having a girly fest.
Right, like play, play, play. Well, that's not my reality. Well, you're looking at, I get it because I was there, right? I know people are gonna be like, yeah, tell me how. Now your mind is going, how do I get there? How do I live that life? You don't get it. I mean, people will message me and be like, I get it. You're talking about like everything being ease and joy and da-da-da. But I'm in a reality where I don't know how to pay my fucking bills, and I'm dealing with, my ex or this or that or negative energy, blah, 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 blah. I get it because I lived in that and I was there. And this is why we say, like, even our baseline programs teach the implementation of how to shift these things. It starts right now with you, that you first get to make yourself a priority. You get to give yourself permission and say that, okay, you know what, if I want anything different. Again, this is why, like, until my mom was ready to choose in and say, I want and I'm open to and I want to do these things, then it can't shift and change. I can't save someone no matter how much I want to save them. And even being the abilities that I have, I can be like, let me pull the shit out of you and like, let me heal. But guess what? It doesn't work when they don't want to receive. So until you're in a place where you're willing to receive it. So it starts with you first going, let me take 100% responsibility of my life and what I'm experiencing, just the result that I'm living in. And this is something that I want to bring you to notice for yourself. Because the thing that I always call my clients on, I'm like, if you want something and you are not moving towards it in some way, you are in some sort of bullshit excuse, story, validation as to why you can't have it. So when we start to question all things, again, then you're like, well, why wouldn't I have everything being fucking awesome? Now, you might be a far ways off from everything in your life being fucking awesome and this easy. You might just be like, oh my God, I can't even imagine getting through the day where I'm smiling. Or it might be like, I can't imagine, like, not having to worry about paying the bills. Wherever you're at, if you say, well, I want that, I want what they're talking about, even though maybe you cannot even imagine it, right? I want what they're talking about. If you want something, you get to go, all right, how do I start moving towards that? Right. And you take the first little inch. You put your head the fuck down is what I always say. Because again, we can look at the big picture and you go, I want that. But you're like, how the fuck do I get there? That is so far.
One step at a time.
Yep, tiny, tiny little micro inch. So we, again, whether it be apply and see that we can go, okay, cool, this would be the first base step. Whether it be first base program. I mean, I have programs down to like $38 a month that are starting people on the base where they can start to integrate and implement. And I know she's got a lot of like baseline programs too, that we can start to get this knowledge that you're doing this. Just like with my mom, we went through a lot of understanding and now she's implementing it. She's practicing it. That then guess what? Every single time you do this, say for instance, we teach you catch a pattern and we catch a belief system, we catch something going on, and every single time we go, all right, cool, well that was a past me. Like now, this is who I want to be. So now every single time you implement doing the new thing, you are actually creating a new neural pathway. Yep. Where then every time you do it, this becomes the path of ease. This is why you do what you do now.
Which is going to reset how you emotionally respond to things and how your body works through any kind of trauma or drama that you were mentally holding that came from some kind of emotional response, that you now have freedom in your body, mind, spirit, and that integration starts to happen.
This is why, and you can hear us talking about all these different things and you're like, holy fuck, because I'm talking about like, this is the point as to why most people feel like they're still always trying, fighting, struggling. They maybe like have focused on one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Or, they have a couple pieces of the puzzle. You hear what we're talking about? We're talking about cellular memory.
Together.
Right? We're talking about clearing the cellular memory, which is 500,000 times stronger than your mental memory. If you're just going, well, how do I? And what if I try this? And what if I do this? You're in your fucking head, which is logic, which logic doesn't even exist because logic can be anything based on your perception. Every single piece of logic is true because it's true for each person based on their perception.
What stories are you believing? Whose energy
right?
Are you
so your mental program
of?
Keeps you on the fucking hamster wheel. Yeah. So we're talking about realigning, like not only clearing, but realigning the cellular memory and energy to truth. Meaning only light. I am only light. I am only remembrance, right? Now, what we're also talking about is how to connect the dots with those pieces in your daily life and in your daily integration. That becomes your identity. It is my identity that life is fucking effortless. Yes. That I am worthy of all the pleasure, all the joy, all the love, all the abundance, anything being fucking easy and everything that I want it's why I'm going home and I didn't move into my new house. It's moved into for me, right? I had to create, this is my understanding, my identity, my belief systems, my patterns, my behaviors. So we're talking about that, and a whole nother level that she's talking about, which is aligning the frequency and opening up the dormant DNA activation. All these things that we just don't even know are actually us, because we've been shut down in the environment, the society, the collective consciousness from the time we're little, and even the generational stuff inside of our systems before we're born, in the soul contracts we took on, etc. So we're talking about fucking everything coming together, being activated, that you're in pure alignment. I mean, how easy is this? I'm just thinking, I'm just feeling so much appreciation even for all of this, and even for you, and all, you know, because I'm like, the journey that I've been on, I've done like 20 plus years of inner work to be on this journey, to then, when I found plant medicine, when I found all these things of activation in DNA, all these things, like in the last couple of years, how it just skyrocketed. But it's like, I've gone that journey, and we've gone that journey, so we can literally go, here you go.
Yep.
Like, my peeps always go,
here's the best of the best.
Yeah, and to see them shift so fast within, I mean, like Guy and Alon, you know Guy and Alon.
Oh.
I've only been working with them for 3 months. Their whole massive world is catapulted in massive degrees and ways, and they're like, I could have never even human brain imagined this, and yet it's only been 3 months, because there is no such thing as time. But yet, because we've gone through this stuff, it's like literally we can hand it to you and give you the keys and the coding and.
Well, and they are applying every single bit of the activations. Those are the only
people I work with, are the people that are badass. And
well, that's what it takes. That's why there's an application process. That's why you have to make sure that you're able to take on a commitment like this. Because
we want you to be ready.
Yeah.
And again, even if it's giving yourself permission, so we're bringing it back to that. Give yourself permission. Take the next step. Instead of, because if you watch the video I did for my mom, she literally knew about this doctor. So this doctor that I had taken her to doesn't do standard Western medicine. All my high-level besties from around the world literally fly into him once or twice a year. She already had the inspiration about him. She'd filled out the paperwork, but never turned it in, never made an appointment, because our mind gets in the way. She was like, well, it's probably too expensive. And, you know what, I'll be fine, kind of a thing. Same thing here. You might be like, well, that all sounds awesome, as ease and grace and flow and fucking abundance and love and joy and epic relationships and bank account badassery and rockin' bodies and, you know, sexual pleasure and laugh and play. Oh, that all sounds awesome, but I'll be fine. I'll be fine. You know, down the road, it's probably too much.
Maybe or next year.
Why not? What, you know, you never know until you ask. Why not take the first step? So I'll get these people that will message me and they'll be like, well, someday I want to work with you. It's in my intentions. It's in my goals. Someday. I'm like, well, good luck with that someday, because that's never going to fucking happen until you actually apply. And it's so funny. I'm like, they're like, I'm sure, you know, I can't right now. I'm like, how would you even know if you've never even asked? Did you know we have a $38 program a month? Oh, can you create $38 a month? If you're not willing to do that for yourself, then you're probably, yes, you want to stay in your story, and I can understand that. So main thing is, if you want something and you're not moving towards it, you're in some sort of bullshit story, excuse, or validation as to why you can't have it. If you would love to manifest with pure fucking ease and grace and joy and love as you are designed, and to open up all parts of you, that it is so fucking effortless, and this is the norm, then it takes you actually deciding to take a moment of action. Give yourself permission. So go to mlbadassbreakthroughadventures.com to get to join Anna and I in any of our adventures, and even to apply to get to go to one in the future with yourself, with one of our groups of people, to find out even what programs are available for you to start in understanding this and implementing in your life and making it your new neural pathway and your new way of being, that then you can move forward and, again, get to the next level of ease and joy and grace. And then the next level of ease and joy and grace. And it just gets fucking easier. And the one thing I do want to say is, every single person that is on this path, what I guarantee is that it only gets easier.
Every day.
It only gets easier because you're on the
easier
path.
And more abundant, and it gets and when you ask for the miracles and you get used to the synchronicities and all of the magic stuff keeps along.
We're always like, of course,
norm.
Thank you, thank you, angels, thank you, everyone, right? Thank you, multiverse. Yeah.
And like that's it. You just you get used to it, but you're never surprised by how it just keeps on up leveling. Just keep it coming. It gets better beyond anything you can imagine, and it just keeps coming. It just keeps on elevating, and that's what this evolutionary process is really about. Is saying yes to everything that you can that you could possibly imagine yourself to come into your life and to bless you with that soul human integration.
Well, you're meant to experience if you choose it, and if you're willing to receive it. Again, we always talk about how, like, you have to actually ask, because otherwise we're just walking around. They're like, oh, they make it so hard. They're just fucking
well,
around making it
the
hard.
angels tell you to command it, not even to ask. It's like, give me that now. You figure out the details. Like, this is my divine birthright.
Yeah. Well, and think about when people actually have things show up in their life, and they're like, oh, it's so crazy. What the fuck?
Why you gotta put that energy?
Yeah, you just denied it. And exactly. See, this is how most people respond to those things. We're like, of course, thank you. So
keep it
that's
coming.
what we want to bring you into alignment too.
Yes.
So again, if you guys are wanting to participate in the fun, the ease, the joy, the awesomeness, and again, we honor you if you want a different experience. This is what we choose, and we're letting you know that it's possible. There's infinite possibility,
Absolutely.
liberation, heaven, bliss, awesomeness now. With this much ease and grace, this is how you're designed and what you're meant to experience. And we chose to be the people that got to exemplify that to you because we're fucking worthy. Ready for lunch? Should we go play? Grab the kiddos?
Let's go grab the kiddos, grab
Awesome.
some lunch, and then come back and share some more love with you. Maybe we can share how we do the crystal grid activation at home.
Let us know. Pop in, you guys, if you would love to.
Grab your crystals.
Maybe
You need
what
13
we can do
crystals.
is we'll see if tonight we can create sharing some of the grid activation and blessing and cleansing space, etc. So, all right, we're gonna go play more.
Activate.
Yeah, let's do it. Love you guys.
Okay,
Pop
love
Choice
you.
Stars. Choose my life. Lock it out and
Come on, boys.
my boobies are still in there. It's all good.